Good morning, everybody. We're continuing now understanding davening, and we're now on the topic of the davening on Rosh Hashana, how it's different than the davening the whole year. So yesterday, just a quick recap of yesterday, we pointed out the first major difference between davening on Rosh Hashana and davening the whole year is the whole year we say davening is in place of sacrifices. Tefillah b'makom korban, it's in place of sacrifices. And we said it's as if we're saying, as if we sacrifice, as if we're giving ourselves. But it's not really sacrificing ourselves. There's a higher level of sacrifice on Rosh Hashana, which Hashem tells us in the Pasuk. And Rosh Hashana, Vasisem Atem. We're making ourselves into a korban. That's why we started Slichus 4 days before Rosh Hashanah, as we explained. That's why for Bikur of the korban, we have to make ourselves pure because we are the sacrifice. And we explained that concept, that it's similar to getting married. It's a commitment to becoming one with Hashem. It's happening Rosh Hashanah. That's a general understanding of what's going on Rosh Hashanah. Whereas the whole year we remember that and we rededicate ourselves towards the goal of living towards Hashem. But the commitment, the making, the forging of the relationship is done on Rosh Hashanah. And we also concluded with recognizing that a great deal of what we do pray about on Rosh Hashanah is not about the Jewish people, but it's about the non-Jewish world, which is one of the main purposes of our relationship with Hashem. Hashem chose us to be His wife, to be His people. Why? Because to be a light unto the nation. We're privileged to have Mr. Frank with us, who is an example of a light unto the nations. It's such a privilege to have you here. And that is the goal of all the Jewish people. We say this every day in our Shema Yisrael, when we say, we accept Hashem as our God, and Hashem will be one. As Rashi explains, Hashem will be one to all the nations of the world. That's our banner. That's our goal. We are Yehudi. We are Mrs. Hashem, and that's our goal, is to bring Hashem's glory to the world. That's what we say, and that's what most of our davening is in Rosh Hashanah. That's what we explained yesterday. Now, today we'd like to go further to the main difference. The main difference of Rosh Hashanah, that was in general. Specifically, the words of davening, as Bill asked, there's so many words here. There's so much davening, and how are we going to get it all clear? I would like to talk to you about, not all the words, but one word. Only one word of davening, the most important word of the entire davening Rosh Hashanah. Does anyone know which word that is? This word is so important that if you mess up this word, you could daven for hours, pour your heart out. It's worth nothing. You got to start all over. That's the law. This one word. And people hear this law. Everyone knows it. It's in the Matzah. That's what you got to do. If you mess up this word, forget it. Start all over. Everyone knows the law, but what sense does that make? My goodness, does it really matter? You messed up one word. Does anyone know what that one word is? Right. Melech. Thank you. King. In the third bracha, the third blessing we say in the Shemona Esrei, Ata Kadosh, you are holy, your name is holy. And we finish, blessed are you. Now, during the year, we say, Hakel HaKadosh, the Holy Almighty. And on Rosh Hashanah, we have to say, HaMelech HaKadosh, the King, the Holy King. And if we, by mistake, made a mistake, we didn't say the King, then our whole davening was worth to start all over. Now I ask, what sense does that make? I understand it's important, you got to make the change, but does it really matter? This is a question that the scoffers make about almost all of Jewish law. All these laws, does this matter? Does that matter? And over here, my goodness, we're talking to Hashem. We called Him the Almighty. Is that so terrible? We have to start all over? I would like to explain this. It's such an important thing to understand the halacha, the beauty of a halacha. Not to scoff at it, to understand it, and to appreciate it. And this is the most important word of your davening. You could have all the kavanas, all the other words, my friend. You messed up this word, forget it. It's not worth anything. So let's get this word right, okay? Now, before we can understand the importance of this word, we need to understand the category where this word is. This word, HaMelech HaKadosh, is in the first three blessings of Shemona Esrei, which are referred to as the blessings of praise, Shevach. There's 3 blessings where we praise Hashem. Now, I'd like to talk to you about this concept of praising Hashem. Now, we know that praising Hashem is not a small part of Judaism. In fact, it says in a verse, Amzu yatzarti tilasu yisaperu. Hashem created the Jewish people to sing my praise. That's our purpose. That's the purpose of the Jewish people, to say Hashem's praise. What does that mean? There's a verse in Isaiah 43, we say it. Hashem says, everything I created in my universe, in the entire world, I created for my glory. Was for my glory. That's the verse. The entire world, as we know, the Jewish people know this, that everything in the world, says Shir, there's a Perek Shir, singing to Hashem. The whole world is singing Hashem's praise. A good friend of mine showed me yesterday a video, brought me to tears, that the non-Jewish world recognized how, from Psalms, that the world sings Hashem's praise. Where is it? They actually taped. They could show you the different noises that are being made by different parts of the universe. It's fascinating. So the non-Jewish world are recognizing that there is noise going on everywhere in the world. But we as Jews know there's more than noise. Learn Perek Shira. We even know what they're saying. We know what every part of the universe is singing to Hashem. That's what most Jewish people should know that. But what we're going to talk about now is the why. The why. That, I don't know if most people don't know this, because if you'll take back and think for a second, doesn't it sound terrible? Imagine you as a loving, healthy parent, and you raise your children, you say, my children, from day till night, your purpose is to sing my praises. I want you. I created you for my glory. I want you to sing my praises. You would say that parent is a nutcase, am I right? You'll lock him up. My goodness. And we all accept this as a given, that this is what the Kadosh Baruch Hu wants from us. Hashem is our loving Father in heaven. Why does he say that he created us for his glory? Isn't that egotistical maniac? Isn't that crazy and sick? He wants us to sing his praises? Is that how you speak to your children? Sing my praises. I created you for that purpose. Doesn't that sound crazy? It's something that we have to understand. So listen to me, my friends. We're speaking about healthy parents. A healthy parent, do you want to guide your children to be the greatest that they can be? You all want your children to succeed in their lives, right? You want them to be the greatest possible thing. Now let's say you're a good parent. You're not some wino lying in the street with nothing to impart to your children. You're a healthy, incredible parent with a lot to teach your child about how to grow and how to live. Do you want your child to accept your guidance, to grow, to be great as the greatness that you possess? You want him to follow in the ways of whatever greatness you have, don't you? You want him to accept that from you. Now, if your child thinks that you're a good for nothing, you think he's going to accept any guidance from you? Like today's generation, all the teenagers know better than their parents. If the child doesn't have the right respect, the right awe, which Mr. Frank has instilled in the entire world, to appreciate your parents' guidance, if a child doesn't understand the greatness of his parents, he won't accept. That's how important it is, the concept of respect towards parents, towards teachers, towards rabbis. We have to have them in high esteem, sing their praises. Why? For them? Do the parents care? Parents want their child to sing my praises? No. But I do want you to recognize my greatness. Why? For my sake? Because I feel great when you sing, Dad is great. I feel great about it. No. I couldn't care less if you sing my praises. I actually prefer you don't. But I do need you to recognize whatever greatness I have, because I love you. And I want to impart my greatness onto you to help you become great. And this, my friends, is exactly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying. Hashem tells us he created the world as a kindness to us, to do good for us, because he loves us. But in order for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give any goodness to us, we have to recognize Hashem's greatness. If we think that we know better, well, if I were God, I would have done this. If we think we know better, we understand things better than Hashem, we're not going to accept any guidance from him. But that's why he says you must see me, know me, recognize me, appreciate all my qualities and my attributes, and praise it. Why? Why should you praise it? So you should have that recognition. If you recognize it, then you'll emulate it. You'll become like that. You'll be similar. That's what Hashem wants, for our sake, not for his sake. He's not egotistical at all. He wants us to become great because he loves us. That's what praising Hashem is all about. Now, in that context, we're now discussing the specific praise of the third blessing. We have to, as Hashem will have time, we'll go through all the praises of the first three blessings. But now, we limited in time, we're going to talk about the third blessing and why it's so important to say King instead of Almighty. The purpose of the praise, these first three blessings, are the most important praises we need of Hashem. Recognitions, again, recognition, so we should emulate Hashem to become like him. This third category, this third blessing, is the recognition of what goes on in this world. Hakel HaKadosh, HaKadosh means he's the set aside. He's holiness means parush. He's set aside from everyone else. Meaning, we live in the world where it's really clear that other things make things happen. Meaning, if you go to work, you earn a living. If you go to the doctor, you get better. If you do this, then this happens. That's the way the world works. We see it with our eyes. We all know it. But as Jews, we know it's not really like that. That's what's called Elohim. That's nature. That's the Shem Hashem. That's Hashem's running of the world. That's called nature. But behind the scenes, Hashem is really running the world. Whether or not the doctor will be able to help you, it's not dependent on the doctor. In fact, do you know, this is a law. In Jewish law, people don't know this. You're not allowed to take a medicine if you actually think the medicine will heal you. No. We say before we take the medicine, Hashem, please make that this medicine should heal me. Please help that this doctor should heal me. That's the way a Jew does everything in this world. We recognize that Hashem is behind the scenes. And that's what we say every day. We have to reinforce our belief that everything that happens in the world that we're doing, we're going to work, we're going to the doctor, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, it's all Hakel HaKadosh. Kel means the Almighty, the koyach behind it is from Hashem. We don't see it. We don't see it. We live in this world. We have to live in the world. We do go to the doctor. But we have to recognize that behind the scenes is Hakel HaKadosh. There's one period of time during the year where it's a higher level, where we can and must recognize that it's not just behind the scenes. It's the scene. It's what's happening. And that's when Hashem reveals himself. Dear Hashem b'yimatzah, Hashem reveals himself to the world. He's here. That's on Rosh Hashana to Yom Kippur. These 10 days, Hashem is here. He is the Melech, as we said yesterday, like getting married. The whole year, okay, he's my husband, but now I go about my life. I have to remember the purpose of my life. But during the wedding itself, during the period where you're together with Hashem, where he revealed himself, he is the Melech. Melech, by the way, means, what is Melech? What is the word Melech? It's a king. You know I hate translations. What does the word Melech mean? Melech means to make go. He's making everything go. He is running the show. He's making everything, Melech, he's causing to go, making everything go on a deeper level, in honor of Chabad that we have here. On a deeper level, Melech stands for three parts of how things work. Mem is Moyach, that's the intellectual. Lamed is Leiv, that's your emotional. And Chaf is Kaved, that's your drives, that's your behavioral. Cognizant, emotional, behavioral therapy. That's Melech. That's how Hashem runs the world. And we come to that total recognition on these 10 days. Can you imagine someone coming to his wedding under the wedding canopy, and the groom is waiting there, and the bride comes out wearing her best slacks and t-shirt. Hey, go back to the dressing room and come out in your wedding gown. What is this? That's how you come. On these days, to talk to Hashem as if he's the one behind the scenes, do you get it? You missed the whole boat of what Rosh Hashanah is. How dare you say such a thing? Hashem's behind the scenes. He's here. He's here running the show. That's what Rosh Hashanah is. Hashem's here. You say Melech. You say he's here. And on this day when he's here is when we express our devotion to Hashem. The same way you're here now, we hope and pray that the whole world, you should know the world around us, especially the Christian world, they think that Hashem is not here. They had to send some son, they had to someone else to, Hashem is not here. Saying, no, Hashem, the same way you're here now, you should let the whole world see that you're here. The whole world should recognize that's our whole davening. But it all starts with the word melech, that you are running the show directly. We're recognizing that Rosh Hashana, and we're trying to take that with us, that the whole year should be like that. That's our fervent prayer to Hashem. The same way He is now the King, this next week, He should continue to be the King, and the whole world should see the light that us as the Jewish people, as Hashem's wife, should impart this light to the rest of the world, and we should all see Hashem's kingdom should be the kingdom of the whole world forever.
Good. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.